also make like it's just a different standard in the household. Even with my wife, it's like this is what we do.
What?
This like stay in shape, play sports. It's what we do. There's no other way.
Yeah, that's good.
And like Tiger ain't gonna listen. You know, I'm somewhat of a smart dude. I'm not as smart as you guys. I'm as smart as Chin or Brian. It's not the God-given gift I was given. Like I tell Tiger all the time, like, buddy, our family's not going to cure cancer, Bubba. You better fucking dedicate your life.
Cured.
You're a big fucking dude. You know, you're a big fucking dude. You're super athletic. That you want to make something for yourself. This is your best way to do it. So commit to it.
Well, I would say that's one way to do it because you did it that way. You know, and it's like. You tell kids what you know. I mean, it's interesting that you're saying your kids like to make people laugh because that's you know what I mean. I just think that it's just a fine line right now. It's like you don't get a manual for being a parent, and you're just trying to like I got a piano in the house, and Wolf knows how to walk up to it. He turns it on his own. He knows how to press the button, and he just tinkles on the keys and he does stuff. And I just go, I just encourage it, you know. But I'm like trying to find the fine line between like, hey, do you really like this? Let's do it. You know, as opposed.
But you know what, Eric? Do it, but do it all. You know what I'm saying? Let's go down that. Let's go down. All right, you don't like it? I don't hold his feet. All right, cool. Let's try this. But I'll tell you what's an interesting conversation is Tiger now is realizing like. You know, money, college stuff. So he likes to box. And he's like, Dad, is there like a thing I can do to compete, like boxing? I'm like, buddy, that's not a path we want to go down. We don't want to put an emphasis on boxing or MMA. He's like, why? I'm like, because I did that. I said, for instance, when you watch the Dodgers, the worst player on the team, which there's no bad players on the Dodgers, but the worst player, the guy who's probably not the best on the Dodgers, is making $3-4 million a year. When you watch the UFC, and he goes, well, how much did you make in the UFC? I said, I was ranked top 10 in the world. I fought 3 times a year. I made maybe $200,000 to $300,000. He goes, what? I'm like, yes. And it's year round, buddy. It doesn't stop. So the juice isn't worth the squeeze, pal. We'll do boxing so you have better hand-eye coordination for football and baseball, but we're not going to major in boxing. It's not what we do, buddy.
Well, it's just such a like a weird conversation to have to like.
Dude.
You know, because it's like you go because in their minds they're like, I mean, because you're a kid and you're like, well, Dad, but look what you did. We live in a great house. You know,
right? Yeah.
You know, we did. You know what I mean? Like whatever you say you did. I mean, it's still they're gonna have like a. You know.
But I make it clear, like the house we live in, the cars I drive. That's not because of fighting.
Right.
The discipline is what got us here, but it's not because I tell them like when you were born, we lived in a 700 square foot apartment. You know. Like fighting was tough, dude.
Well,
fighting, and then the other thing I tell them too is like, if most of the fighters, this can come off bad, especially as a UFC fighter. If you went to those fighters, if they had the skill when they were young to play for the Dodgers, to play for the fucking Denver Broncos, they would choose that. They couldn't make those. They're not athletic enough to do that, so they gravitated towards martial arts. The good athletes aren't fucking signing up for jiu-jitsu and fucking karate, but it's all they can really do. Tiger has a skill set where, buddy, we're not doing fucking taekwondo.
Got it.
Are you goddamn
I had a football friend of mine. He said he was like a lot of football players are just failed basketball players. You know,
and to be honest, like the only reason I got into the UFC because I was a failed football player. I was considered a really good athlete in the UFC.
Yeah,
I'm dime a dozen in the in college football. You walk in any college locker room, there's 30 of me.
Wow, yeah.
At least, dude. I'm not special. In the UFC, I'm special because they don't have a lot of good athletes. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's different. Or
that's
people,
interesting.
I don't know if it's even like not good athletes so much as like they don't have a lot of people. I don't know if there's a lot of people willing to put themselves on the line for that.
Yeah, and also
you know what I mean?
There's
like it's a special kind of thing in your head.
But also there's a
like
difference.
Combat sports.
There's a difference between trying to figure out the game and then trying to figure out how to not get fucking knocked out.
Yeah.
You know? And and you're going to get hit in the fucking head a bunch of times. You're going to get fucked up a bunch of times.
Suck.
It's going to suck. You're not going to be okay, so what's the best analytical thing to do here? What play do we run? It's you do learn that stuff quick. But
the other thing too is like, say when you guys were starting stand-up comedy and both your dads had millions of dollars in the bank, how hard are you going to hustle to make it in stand-up? So when it comes to fighting, it's even magnify that by 30. Because all right, so T goes down, I want to dedicate my life, I want to make it to the UFC. Yeah. I can help you get there. I have a good idea how we're going to do this, but we're competing with dudes in Dagestan, in Russia, in China, in Japan, and in America who have nothing, buddy. They have, this is the only way. And then you got to compete against those fucking guys.
Right.
And if they win, they're going to feed their family. You're good. You're never going to make it, buddy. That tenacity, that work ethic they have, you can't compete with that, dude. In fighting, sure as fuck can't.
Interesting.
Well, unless they, what do you do if like, what do you do if like your son hears that and he thinks it triggers in his head, nah, I can do it, and then he gets inspired.
Then let's ride. All right, let's ride. All right, I'm down for it. But I'm just telling you, I tell T, you're a better athlete than I was. I went pretty far. You're way more athletic. You're bigger. You're stronger. You're gonna dominate in everything. When I was a kid, if you just focus, dude, you're gonna go wherever the fuck you want to go. Fighting's for the birds, dude. Fighting's for because nobody wins in fighting. Even when I won fights, I got fucked up. I got brain trauma. I had stitches. I was in the hospital. My grandma used to always say, because my grandma would go, did you win? And my grandma would go, nobody wins. Did you get hit? I go, yeah. She goes, nobody won.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, huh? To want it.
Brendan Schaub is insane. First and foremost, I know Schaub loves to steal, but did he rip me off? Did he just rip off my whole UFC and MMA fighters aren't really athlete bits? That's my bit. He ripped it off word for word. That's it. Thief. Other than that, though, so Schaub told his son that he's a dumb motherfucker and he better make it in sports. That's what Schaub told his kid. I guess Schaub knows he's dumb. He looks at how dumb his wife is and must just say, these kids got no shots. Because you got to remember, Schaub's a little rich kid too. Because my thinking was, yeah, Schaub's an idiot and his wife's an idiot. But, I mean, their kids are going to have, the best education money can buy. But so did Schaub. So did his wife. And they're still idiots. So Schaub is just assuming his kids are going to be redacts because two redacts are raising them. Wow. I like how D'Elia got kind of called out there because Schaub was like, imagine starting stand-up comedy and your dad has millions of dollars in the bank. Newsflash, Schaub, all he is dead. Everyone in the Rogan sphere started stand-up comedy while having fathers with millions of dollars in the bank. So you can tell Chris's face on that. You're like, ooh, yeah, Chris is a Nepo baby. But Schaub has been losing it lately. Do you think he's so desperate to get his kids into sports is because, everything is crumbling around him? And he's like, maybe if my kids make it, I can live off of them. Be good at sports. Please be good at sports. So terrible. So terrible. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.